Salve galera, NettoX, mais um evento aqui. Dessa vez, galera, vamos trazer aqui a Tokyo Game Show. Espero que goste, galera. Eu vou fazer o possível aqui, porque eu já tenho os horários e alguns vão ter que trazer ou bem de manhã ou bem de madrugada. Mas espero que gostem. Já vou colocar no evento aqui para vocês. Espera aí. Pronto. Quando começar mesmo, eu já coloco o áudio. Mas é isso aí, galera. Espero que goste aqui da TGS. Vamos lá e espero que tenha coisas boas vindo por aí. E até também, quem sabe, alguns anúncios. Tipo, por enquanto é só abertura, mas talvez tenha anúncio novo. Mas logo após a abertura eles vão falar um pouquinho mais, mas também quem vai apresentar logo após, e eu vou trazer com certeza, é SNK, no seu evento focado em The King of Fighters 15. Acho que eles vão mostrar mais coisas do jogo, mas eu tô curioso para ver o que, que eles vão mostrar nessa abertura. E quem tiver aí, galera, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar pra gente pra dar aquela força e se inscrever se não for inscrito. Tava aí, Lucas Funk. Bem, quem tiver aí, galera, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá e compartilhar pra gente pra dar aquela força e se inscrever se não for inscrito. Bem, galera, o evento tá marcado para começar às 10 horas da noite. Faltam em 5 minutos aqui pra mim. Lembrando que é o horário lá do Japão, então normalmente o que seria 10 horas da noite lá seria 10 da manhã para eles. Então, É, o fuso muda bastante de lá pra cá, mas eu vou dar meu esforço aqui pra trazer, mesmo que tenha pouca gente assistindo a Tokyo Game Show. E também vai ser a primeira Tokyo Game Show mesmo no canal também. Acho que é um esforço que vai valer a pena, trazer a Tokyo Game Show. Bem, galera, uma coisa também importante, vou deixar a programação aqui da Tokyo Game Show para quem se interessar. Vou até talvez deixar na descrição também. Aí já facilita assim para saberem quais eventos eu penso em trazer. Mas isso aí, daqui a pouco começa, falta 3 minutos. Já vão chamando os amigos aí, compartilhando para os amigos daquela força, se inscrever se for inscrito. E é isso aí, galera. Espero que gostem. Essa Tokyo Game Show, acho que na abertura eles vão falar inicialmente o que vem por aí, pelo menos do evento. E talvez eles falem algum anúncio, não sei, mas o jeito é esperar. Mas não se preocupe que logo em seguida eu vou trazer o da SNK, que é 1 da manhã. Da SNK vocês podem esperar. É isso aí, já faltou 1 minuto para começar. Vamos lá. Aqui já vou até desmutar o evento aqui. Vamos falando aí, galera, se o áudio do evento tá bom. Tá vendo essa PlayStation? Vou que pode ajudar aí na moderação. Aí, começou. Pois eu não entendo japonês. Mas o bom que vai estar essa transmissão daí que eu encontrei em inglês. Então, pra mim, inglês tá de boa, já ajuda mais a traduzir. O áudio do evento tá bom em relação ao áudio? É isso aí, já vai começar. Ó, VR. E não se preocupe, galera, depois da abertura, o próximo a apresentar vai ser a SNK. E a SNK vai começar 1 da manhã e eu vou trazer pra vocês com certeza. Mais um evento online, assim como a E3 e a Gamescom.
Special opening program to kickstart Tokyo Game Show. TGS 2021 online. Alright, good afternoon and good morning everyone. Here we to broadcast opening program for TGS 2021. I'm your host, Watanabe. Thank you. First, let me introduce who are up on stage. Official supporter Magical Lovely is on the stage. Could I have your comments a bit? Yes, I'm feeding myself with playing games. Nora Crystal. Hello everyone. Murakami-san. I'm a 16 king. Murakami. Hello everyone.
Falando um pouco de apresentadores mesmo.
Alright, so both of you are so into games that we expect you to try out and pilot programs to give the audience what's ongoing around Tokyo Game Show this year. And also, I have another host today. Hiraiwa-san, go ahead. Yes, I'm Hiraiwa Kosuke, serving you as MC. Hello everyone. Alright, Taguchi-san. Yes, I'm rising a carry up louder. Thank you, I am Taguchi. Hello
Falando
everyone.
pouco de cada apresentador mesmo.
I guess both of you served MC last year too, so let's hang in there, thank you. Alright, so can I talk a bit? Have you known Tokyo Game Show? Yes, of course. I play games, and there was used to be the Yoshimoto booth before.
Perguntando sobre a Tokyo Game Show, assim, que não é um evento lá que todo mundo conhece, mas é o maior evento da Ásia.
Oh, did it?
Pelo menos é o que eu sei da Tokyo Game Show. É claro, focado nas empresas japonesas mesmo. Pelo menos de presença confirmada que tem, que eu me lembro. Ubisoft vai estar, 505 Games, SNK, Konami, Capcom, Koei Tecmo, Square Enix. São algumas das que eu me lembro que tem participação na Tokyo Game Show desse ano.
Next year, Nova Games will be coming up on the marketplace. So,
não, daí concordo, essa PlayStation. Blá 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 é bem chato mesmo.
Here, probably half of the Makuhara Messe area will be occupied by my games, probably. Yeah, we need to go into the restroom even, and we need to play that. Yeah, in a very credible, small room, probably if you have to play games, probably next year.
Não adianta, galera, eu não entendo nada de japonês, então estou dependendo da tradução em inglês mesmo.
So let's start with the first segment, official programs highlights. So let's start
eles vão começar a falar do show. Eu já deixei esse link aqui na descrição, vou até deixar aqui para vocês, da programação. Temos, por exemplo, participação da SNK, da Konami, Sparkton Soft. Deixa eu até abrir direito aqui.
The third image, myself, I'm going to
aqui da Konami, SNK, Sparkton Soft, a Capcom, pelo menos para o dia 30. Aí dia 1º, 505 Games, Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Level 5 e Sega com a Atlus. E aí dia 2, de importante aqui temos a Gang Ho, a Koei Tecmo, Konami e a Tencent. E dia 3 temos a Arc System Works, jogos independentes deles, Ubisoft, Gang Ho, MiHoYo, aqui faz o Genshin Impact, e é basicamente daí, assim, das mais interessantes.
Let's start with the programs on 30th of the September. Hirai-san, over to you. All right. First one is Gamera Games.
Eu vou tentar trazer, galera, para vocês os mais importantes. Pelo menos 1 da manhã, me aguardem com o da SNK. O da SNK, se não me engano, eles vão focar no The King of Fighters 15, mas é possível que eles mostrem outros jogos também.
And what's more, an Egyptian-style tactical strategy game series will also announce its new work, Warriors of the Nile 2. Plenty more new games and new information. Stay tuned. SNK.
Aí o da SNK
TGS 2021 SNK
vai ser interessante. Acho que muita gente está querendo ver mais o gameplay do The King of Fighters 15 também. Eu tô achando o jogo interessante. Eu não sei se eu pegaria já de começo, mas é um jogo bem interessante como é que tá o The King of Fighters 15.
The special program will also be aired. So fan favorite Hamiko Jun and Utahiro Bajun from the band Golden Bomber will also join as top players. Get ready for the first ever footage
com certeza a grande cereja do bolo do da SNK é o The King of Fighters mesmo. SK Telecom, infelizmente não conheço.
It's the #1 telco service provider in Korea and the first telco to provide the world with 5G.
Valeu, PlayStation.
They're going to present their gaming lineup, Little Witch in the Woods and the Vapor World. SKT has launched multiple games since 2020 and is looking for the
Team Madness Games, não conheço.
Their gaming adventure. Next one, Team Madness Games. Team Madness Games live streaming is going to be presented. Team Madness Games CEO will talk about their debut game, It's Meal Time, in detail.
O problema vai ser mais do dia 1 até o dia 3 mesmo, que tem alguns que vai acontecer tipo 6 da manhã, 7 da manhã.
Microsoft, Tokyo Game Show 2021.
O Xbox vai estar apresentando, mas eu não penso em transmitir o do Xbox.
So 2021 Xbox live stream for all people who love games. enjoyable content will be presented and some information that you're not going to get elsewhere.
Konami.
Stay tuned. Next,
Konami vai
new
ser,
information to
ver
reveal for
agora.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel along with updates across key titles.
Konami vai ser 7 da manhã, então eu não sei se eu vou conseguir estar acordado para trazer da Konami, mas se eu não me engano eles vão focar mais no Yu-Gi-Oh! E nas IPs deles. Mas Konami é um importante, caso vocês queiram mesmo.
SpikeChunsoft TGS 2021.
Pena que não é tanto conhecida.
We're going to bring you a lot of game information of titles being released by SpikeChunsoft.
Bem, eles têm jogos para Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 e PlayStation 5 que vão apresentar. Também me pergunta a mesma coisa essa PlayStation.
Happy Danganronpa and the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 version, Dying Light 2, Stay Human and other title information will be released.
Dying Light,
que
eles vão estar apresentando.
See the footage of her playing the game.
A próxima.
Next, a D3 Publisher.
D3 Publisher, não conheço também. Mas eles têm jogo para Nintendo Switch para apresentar.
Also with gameplay and the ADF3 for Nintendo Switch is also going to be released. There are a lot of exciting content to be streamed live. Next one is Capcom TGS online program Monster Hunter Spotlight. As an
Capcom, eu vi que eles vão focar em Monster Hunter, mas espero que mostrem outros jogos também.
So Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is just released. The overview of the title and the world view. Additional information will be presented by the developers.
A Capcom vocês veriam, mesmo que eles estão focando em Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter Rise will also be talked about by the developers, and also in-game music and etc. Music live performance is also there, so please enjoy that.
Depois da
Next
Capcom,
one is Izanagi
Games.
Yurukyo, the culmination.
Izanagi Games não conheço também.
There are new developments, big news.
Mas pelo menos assim, com a Izanagi Games que fecha no dia 30. E aí, para o dia 1º que eles vão começar a falar.
Gameplay. I wonder if we are going to see her cosplay and also with the single
Vai ter até cosplay também. Bem, o legal do Tokyo Game Show é que você vê outros jogos bem diferentes também, mas no geral a gente quer ver umas grandes japonesas. A Capcom, Square Enix, Konami. Que mais? A SNK também. E muitas outras.
What do you think? Any programs that you want to see? You want to watch particularly? Well, the cosplay out there.
Cosplay querendo ver. Imagino que para os japoneses está sendo que nem a Gamescom, adaptar tudo para mídia digital mesmo.
I really want to see it in person. Yeah, there will be a live stream, so look forward to that. It's from 11 p.m., so you have to be awake.
Mas as únicas mais gaizinhas assim, que estão na Tokyo Game Show é 505 Games e a Ubisoft. A 505 é mais independente, mas se não me engano ela é americana, e a Ubisoft é francesa. Mas é bom assim que essas duas também estão investindo no mercado japonês. Outra que vai apresentar, que é bem interessante, Arc System Works. É bem conhecido nos jogos de luta, como Guilty Gear, BlazBlue e muitos outros.
Well, Melty Black, I think, will start to be released, and I'm going to challenge him with a brand new game, KOF. KOC, how about that? Yes, when I see KOF, I also think about the KOC. Around the day after tomorrow, maybe I won't be able to go to the ending program. Yeah, first time in history I wanted to win, but I also wanted to stay till the end. Yeah, Yeah, so stay tuned. Next, the programs for October the 1st, official programs.
Aí, dia 1º, NTT Sports.
NTT Sports, NTT Sports Special Program. The NTT Sports aims to contribute to connecting, educating, and revitalizing the community by combining cutting-edge ICT and esports. In this program,
Acho que vai ser campeonato, se não me engano.
efforts by NTT Esports and the possibility of a competition for business people.
Depois, Happiness Game Showcase, não conheço.
NTGS 2021 first stage. Happynet partner publishers latest title information will be presented.
Aí depois vem a Tencent.
And the talk
Ah não, Tencent não.
Live stream by guests will be presented. And please refer to their special site for TGS regarding more information. There is also information on Twitter as well. Please follow their account.
Ah não, Happynet, depois é 505 games.
Upcoming new titles, Tokyo Game Show 2021.
505 games, eles do
do
Japão são conhecidos por ter trazido o Bloodstained do Igarashi. Bloodstained foi um jogo que eu gostei bastante de ter trazido e eles também estão trazendo o remaster do Alan Wake, que vai vir também. E também, se não me engano, eles fizeram a versão de PC do Death Stranding. O bom da 505 assim, é uma desenvolvedora indie, mas também meio conhecida. Agora Square Enix vão focar em Forspoken, Guardiões da Galáxia, são alguns dos títulos importantes que eles estão falando. Eu quero saber de Final Fantasy VII, acho que eles vão falar um remake, parte 2. Vai ter Final Fantasy, dependendo da hora. Bandai Namco.
So the next one, Bandai Namco Entertainment, the Idolmaster Starlet Scene.
Bandai Namco, vou ver se talvez eu consiga trazer.
Starlet Season, Starlet Report Special.
Mas Square Enix eu não quero deixar passar também não.
There will be new information. Please look forward to that. Next is Level 5.
Level 5 ou Level 5.
2021. The latest cross-media
ele está com a gente por Manufacture, se não me engano.
Level 5, the latest information will be presented with performers, and there will be new information.
E aí fecha o dia 1º com a Sega e a Atlus.
Sega Atlas, Sega New TGS Special.
Vou ver se consigo trazer também Sega Atlus.
News variety show. Sega New is included as a special TGS.
Mas que apareça alguma coisa de Sonic. Da Atlus eu sei que tem fãs de Persona que querem novidades também. E Shin Megami Tensei 5 também.
The venue. And so these are all for the official
Beleza, fechou o dia 1º. Agora é dia 2. Vamos lá, pessoal.
Yes, personally, Chocobo Grambly.
Nossa, só nesse dia 1º tem vários desenvolvedores que já vão querer ver. Bandai Namco, Square Enix, 505 e a Sega, com certeza.
7, the first soldier. It's going to be some update. Well, 7, you know, there are remakes, right? And there were different scenarios. So they released them one by one. And something, it used to be.
Bem, eu tava todo mundo estiver assistindo, galera. Espero que consigam me acompanhar aqui nessa luta que vai ser trazer a Tokyo Game Show. Eu acho que vai valer a pena. Mas acho que depois eu vou precisar de um bom descanso.
And they did a beta test.
É o que eu imagino que vai ser lá na frente pra mim, depois de trazer a Tokyo Game Show.
And of course I downloaded it, but I still haven't time to play it. What now is your timing? Well, I can't believe it. I think early of the year. Well, I can't believe that I still haven't played that game. I was so looking forward to it. I was dreaming it. It's not just a remake. I think you know if you have played the Jingi, it's spectacular.
É, tá começando o Final Fantasy VII. É, e daí todo mundo quer saber da parte 2 do remake.
Beyond your imagination. Yeah, I want to play it with a big monitor. So there were a lot of games piling up that I want to play. Well, yeah, it's hard to secure time at home. We're really busy, and we're going to win King of Count as well. Cool. And I'm going to be even busier. Well, so maybe when in 2024 Paris Olympics, I will be able to have some time to play games. I also want to play Megaton Musashi. I think we saw some footage. I think I can spend a whole day playing customization. Megaton Musashi. Really look forward to. Well, Level 5 really puts a lot of energy into that title. It must be fun. Tomorrow, right? That program. Yeah. So.
Beleza, agora eles devem falar do dia 2.
Voice actors as well, right? Walking around. I don't think they will be walking around, but so.
E aí, vamos pro próximo dia.
Let's move on to the official programs for October the 2nd.
Aí, começa com a HappyNet.
HappyNet Game Showcase in TGS 2021
Não conheço,
second
como
stage.
falei.
So HappyNet partner publisher, latest information on titles will be released, promotion footage, talk by guests, and the gameplay and game equipment will be introduced in the program. And the Space Pirate Gorgeous, he will also appear. And please refer to the TGS special site by HappyNet for more information. Please check that, and also please follow their Twitter account.
Tencent, bem conhecida no ramo de celulares.
Tencent Games TGS 2021, Tencent Games Game Collection. Here in TGS
E é até interessante ver uma chinesa no meio das japonesas também.
And high resolution 3D RPG smartphone game that is a Saint
Eu não tava muito fã da Tencent, mas vamos ver, né, o que eles têm por aí. Tá vendo, Fábio?
Title on the franchise and its new update information will be published. For next one,
Lilith Games.
Lilith Games.
Não conheço também.
Armed City and new game information will be up. New game War Pass, the Armed City Charm will be disclosed here. And the two titles, the Real Machine Play will be disclosed, and that will be up on published next year. Don't miss it. Next one,
Depois, Gang Ho é a que fez o Ninjala no Nintendo Switch.
It's a final tournament.
Campeonato de Ninjala que eles vão apresentar. Eu já joguei um pouquinho, mas não achei tão legal assim.
Published. Now, this is a final tournament with the top 4 after preliminary results.
Para os fãs de Ninjala, acho que vão gostar de ver esse campeonato.
And the 3 million yen will be at stake.
Koei Tecmo.
Koei Tecmo Games. In 2 hours on live, Koei Tecmo Special Feature Program.
Bem, eles não devem apresentar.
Throughout 2 hours.
Ah, bem às vezes eu faço, Fábio, mas agora já que é Toca Game Show, né? Mas eu acho que eles não vão apresentar jogos que eu espero, como Ninja Gaiden 4. Eu acho que eles vão focar em Dynasty Warriors e Atelier Ryzen. Por mais até que eu acho legal Dynasty Warriors, pena que da Tecmo eu acho que vou ter que acabar deixando passar.
Second section, you can see the blue reflection tide, and also Atelier's release, that's the anniversary of 25 years. We have a cast, Yanagihara Kanako-san, and also Kishida Meru-san as an act.
Aí sim, ô Fábio, 3DS Konami.
Konami Tokimeki Memorial Broadside, full card.
Bem, acho que eles vão mostrar alguns jogos menos conhecidos deles, da Konami. Mas acho que vão só trazer o show principal deles.
Actor Koda Mariko-san and Koda Mariko-san live commentary and for both of them on Tokimeki Memorial Broadside full cards, and the deluxe voice actors on making on the special commitments, comments, and just have a look at those strong characters. Next one, DMM Games, TGS 2021.
Aí sim, ô Fábio, se precisar de dicas eu te passo aí. Se precisar de uma ajuda. AMD Games, não conheço também.
11th of August 2021, information was up, and that has wowed the world. Nintendo Switch DMM game player and action game soft, Poké Number Musou, its succession information will be introduced with the business jet version, TGS21. Now Dobima, Kim-san, and also
Depois a DMM.
director and Inagaki producer
Fecha o dia.
stage. Also,
Aí, dia 3 vai ser o último dia.
its actor, Maeno Tomohiro-san, its voice actor, and Takanashi Kengo-san were coming to the stage and actually playing the games. Now, as a special information, we are going to announce the 10th anniversary campaign, which some
Ah,
people
dica no
call
geral
the
para o YouTube, ô Fábio, se precisar. Tá vendo?
also published. Right, that's up for the official exhibitor program for the 2nd of October.
E fiquem aí, galera, que, se não me engano, 23 horas vai começar. Eles vão falar dos 25 anos da Tokyo Game Show. Às 11 horas. Vou ver se consigo talvez deixar nessa mesma live. E 1 da manhã, SNK. SNK eu não vou deixar passar não. Pelo menos vou deixar vocês vendo a SNK junto comigo. A SNK, como já foi falado antes, eles vão focar no The King of Fighters 15. E talvez eles vão apresentar outros jogos também.
Like 300 million. That's a lot. Yeah, so TGS is really fierce battle here. And second section of that will be really Fury. I guess both of us have watched it before, and I guess both of us have played the games and once sometimes, so maybe we are able to reach a good point in that stage. Probably we can get the 200 million prize.
Agora eles têm que falar do último dia, que é o dia 3.
If we need to battle together with the foreign players, and that would be really difficult and challenging. Maybe associated with a job, maybe you might want to try it.
Mas nesse dia assim que eles falaram de interessante,
prize in the world is something that we can never achieve. That shows how difficult it is.
pera aí,
And some parents even encourage kids to practice and win the
esse
prize.
dia 2, eu acho que
Yeah, it's
a
really
Konami
good times here,
e
right?
talvez a Koei, mas acho que esse dia é o dia mais fraco mesmo, dia 2.
To play games in order to win, and you no longer see them as something interesting. Yeah, if you're so into it and you don't really see them as an interesting thing.
Bem, salve aí, ô
And
Fábio,
maybe somebody
eu já não
wants to
recebeu
be
salve.
professional and you just grow up and exercise and just giving up on being professional. Yeah, that happens.
Na verdade começa hoje, olha, mas oficialmente é dia 30 que começa.
Yeah, I was always tempted to play other games too. Alright, so moving on to the
Agora é dia 3.
program on the 3rd of August.
S-Game, não conheço. Vou mostrar um action RPG.
Will be published and that's on live. S-Game new ARPG will be published for the first time. In a TGS, game video, new contents will be published. Not only gameplay video, but all the terms will be disclosed.
Basicamente,
Just have a
Fábio.
look at how that games will move. And S-Game is the game manufacturers who are planning, developing, and running the games that is focused on action game. Rainblade series and Phantom Blade are so popular on Sociais.
Eu já terminei todos os GTA, Fábio. Pelo menos a trilogia do PlayStation 2 já tá no canal. Na primeira, já de cara, Anderson, vai ser a SNK. Aí vai ter, deixa eu ver direito aqui. Vai ter o Japan Game Awards da Tokyo Game Show, mas nessa mesma hora também vai ter a Arc System Works. É um que eu não vou deixar passar também, Arc System Works. Acho que eles vão falar do Guilty Gear Strive, talvez algum Blaze Blue, e de outros jogos também, como River City Ransom, River City Girls. Tem que ver o que eles vão falar, Arc System Works.
The passionate, hard-headed Kunio-kun, the River City Girls will be
110 Industries.
Next one, 110 Industries.
Não conheço.
Currently, 110
Mas a
Industries
Gang Ho vai aparecer aqui também, depois da NC.
TGS 2021, 100
Eu tô trazendo, ó, Fábio, o Underground 2.
Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, and those are the games that Soleil has developed so far, and that's the hardcore third-person shooting.
Vamos falar de Ninja
game.
Gaiden, Dead or Alive.
So, the Red Gold
Talvez seja
Spark, that is
interessante.
a Seitan Adventure race game. Another one is A Vengeance Is Mine, that is a third-person action adventure game.
NC, não conheço.
NC, Lineage W World. NC Soft has been known as the MMORPG.
Eles vão mostrar algum MMO.
The new one, Lineage W, will be up on a screen on TGS 2021. The Lineage W is the authorized edition of the Lineage. That's how much.
Mas depois da NC,
vem
a Gang Ho, que já é conhecida. Pelo menos de jogo grande que eles fizeram, o Ninjala, para o Nintendo Switch. Falando em Ninjala. Ah, agora tem o campeonato do Ninjala. Não sei se eles vão chegar a apresentar alguma coisa nova, mas é certo aí o campeonato do Ninjala. E pra quem tem Nintendo Switch, galera, acho interessante o Ninjala, ele é free to play no Nintendo Switch. Aí sim, ó, Fábio.
And also 100 Jara can be winning, and also collaboration information, so don't miss it. Next one.
Ubisoft, a primeira, não, a segunda Gaijin aparecer aí, porque a 505 Games já apareceu. Eles devem falar do Far Cry 6, principalmente. A não ser que eles mostrem algum outro jogo também, além de Far Cry 6.
No real event, but this is an online event. Then they have a Ubisoft Day 2021 online.
E vai ter um programa especial ainda junto com a Ubisoft na TGS. Então, fica até curiosidade, mas vocês veriam também da Ubisoft, galera?
October, and that series will be played. Alright,
A
next one.
K-Racing.
AK Token 2021.
Não conheço também a K-Racing.
Gaming chain leading brand AK Racing will participate in this official exhibitor program in 2021, not only last year. The main cast, we have a Kendo Kobayashi-san, Takando Toshi-san, Natsuno-san who are joining that program, and they will talk about their
Mas nesse dia 3, por enquanto, de interessante, talvez a 110 e Arc System Works já é um grande aqui para se cobrir também.
Next one, Right Flyer Studio.
Right Flyer Studios também não conheço.
Right Flyer Studios and Key will give a Maeva-jin first smartphone game in 15 years, and this is a live broadcasting program. They're giving you the new information about Heaven Burns.
Mihoyo.
Next one, Mihoyo.
E daí podem, talvez não conhecer muito, mas eles são os que fizeram Genshin Impact. Acho que eles vão falar de update, do que vem por aí pro Genshin Impact. Eu não jogo muito, mas eu achei legalzinho Genshin Impact, mas vocês veriam também, galera? E olha que a Mihoyo é outra chinesa também, aí no meio, junto com a Tencent.
Alright, next one.
Finger.
You can see all the platform for the next generation.
Também não conheço a Finger.
The Finger will give you the new game platform for the next generation. We can see the new age of the game commentary, and not only see it, but you can also participate, and that's how you can enjoy the Finger. And Hoshikawa Sara-san and also the Yashiro-san will actually playing games and give you the more terms about it. And just participate in that for the games for the next generation.
Depois da Finger vem a
by making comments. Or next one, Grand Saga.
Grand Saga, que também não conheço.
You can see the graphics and moving stories as if you see the movies, and you can see the meticulous details of the sound. And RPG Grand Saga will give you a special program only for Tokyo Game Show 2021 online, and we welcome the official ambassador with that
exclusivo
celebrities
na
that
Tokyo
everybody
Game Show.
knows, and we will
Então
play the
nunca
games.
sabe.
And then also solo
Mas eu não
plays
conheço
are
esse
not
Gran
only
Saga.
that, but also multi-content contents can be played. Now don't miss that information, just follow Twitter. Alright, that's it for the official exhibitor program for the 3rd of
E aí
October.
daí que termina
A lot of scores of program that I'm looking
o
for.
cronograma do Tokyo Game Show e claro, vai ter o encerramento deles também. E todo dia vai ter um começo assim, que eles vão falar o que vai acontecer em cada dia. Mas desse dia 3 aí, acho que eu daria mais destaque para a Arc System Works. É o único daqui, talvez a Ubisoft também, que é outro grande. Acho que talvez 3. A Arc System, Ubisoft e a MiHoYo. Se vocês virem também.
W. And everybody called Renage. But the more you play the games, the more mistake you might make in announcing that and then pronouncing that. And I have used to play the games with the other friends that
Mas e daí é o que tem para os dias marcados mesmo.
There is a system called the
Eu acho que o melhor dia vai ser o primeiro mesmo, o que vai ter para aparecer.
And within that server, that
O
didn't
melhor
really
dia,
function,
com
actually.
certeza, acho que vai ser o dia 30,
And
com
the
SNK,
leader of that
Konami
program, designing that
e a
program,
Capcom,
came
e
into
talvez
me
a Spark
and, "Oh, how do you
Chunsoft.
play the games? Just tell your name." And I was like, "What? No way! I can't tell you my name."
Pelo menos assim, é o que eu tô vendo que é mais interessante para o primeiro dia.
At the time, people cannot go through it, and so we needed to pull up bridge in the games, and we
Espero
tried
que pelo
out
menos
to
nesse
go
meio
across the
eles
bridge.
apresentem alguma coisa.
So that kind of
Mas
thing
qualquer coisa é só
we did together.
esperar ver o que eles vão falar dos 25 anos da Tokyo Game Show também.
Account show the new one, like a Renage W, and so I'm really happy that Renage W coming back on a stage. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see the Renage W. It's not about memory, but the new one, the Renage W, is something that I like to focus on.
TGS2021 には公式出展者番組の他にも主催者番組がございます。平井さんからご紹介お願いします。
We also have organizers of programs other than official programs. Hiraiwa-san, over to you.
Ah,
So let me
sim, que vai
introduce the
ter
keynote
agora às
speakers
11 da
first.
noite.
We will always have
celebrando os
games
25
keynote
anos da
speakers. So
Tokyo
in
Game Show.
2021, Tokyo Game Show celebrates its 25th anniversary.
E vai ter
How
alguns
will
nomes
games
aí
go
como
in the next
Katsuhiro
25
Harada,
years? What is going to happen?
o
The game creators
criador
are
da
going
série
to talk
Tekken,
about
pelo
the
menos
great
dos que eu
shift that is
reconheço
happening
daí,
right now in the
talvez
game world. Next, let me introduce the organizer
o Tsuji, o criador do
IGN
Mega Man,
Japan Presents. Ask IGN Program.
IGN
Ask
Japão.
IGN Global. What the world
E daí eu
really
acho que
is
vão
about games.
talvez
Japan
deixar
has
passar.
contributed many of the most iconic franchises in the game history, but what do gamers around the world really think of Japanese
Eles vão
games?
falar das maiores
There will be a
franquias,
panel
mas
hosted by IGN Japan
dependendo
and
do horário, às
June
vezes não
answer
pode
that
rolar
question.
também.
And as for the world's biggest video game news site, IGN has editions in nearly 30 regions and 25 languages. So we will ask editors in regions including the US, China, Europe, and Southeast Asia about the game scene in each part of the world. And we will also ask some of the Japan's top game developers to respond. Don't miss it. The next one is the Famitsu Presents, the appeal and the potential of RPG.
Famitsu vai
Hironori
apresentar.
Sakaguchi and Naoki Yoshida, TGS 2021 online special talk. So there will be a special dialogue
Acho que o
between
Hironobu
Hironori
Sakaguchi vai estar aí,
creator
que
of the
ele
Final
falou.
Fantasy series and the creator of a highly acclaimed Fantasia.
Pode até ser interessante, mas vamos focar mais nas,
Producer, director
nas
of the
conferências
Final Fantasy
mesmo.
16, as well as the producer of the Final Fantasy 17, the latest in the series, to discuss the appeal and the possibilities of RPG. Next one, is it really difficult to become a professional game streamer? What is the daily life behind the scenes of production? So in 2020,
falando pouco da vida de YouTube, de como que é complicada a vida de produtor não, é um streamer de jogos. Até me identifico um pouco, mas como falei, vamos focar mais nas apresentações mesmo.
What is the daily life and the production behind the scenes for game streamers? There will be a crosstalk over those topics. So these are organizers' programs. The next one is an official program, Sense of Wonder Night 2021. So Sense of Wonder 2021.
Por enquanto de apresentação eles estão falando mais do que vem por aí mesmo.
Ideas over game ideas that are going to make you feel that you can change the world when you hear or see the
E ainda faltam uns 20 minutos para eles falarem a primeira keynote, que é We Always Have Games. Eu vou ver se já tento deixar nessa mesma live mesmo.
Next we're going to talk about the Japan Games Award. Japan Games Award 2021 Amateur.
A parte daí mais de bastidores aí é bom deixar quieto mesmo. Até entendo assim que vai ser bem cheia a Tokyo Game Show, mas o que o pessoal vai querer ver com certeza são desenvolvedores. Eu imagino que muitos de vocês vão querer ver mesmo. Por que a Bandai Namco quer apresentar, o que a Konami quer apresentar, a SNK, Square Enix, a 505, a Chunsoft, a Arc Systems e por aí vai.
And among 493 entries, after first, second, and final reviews, there were 10 games selected, and there will be announcement for honorable mention, award for excellence, and the grand award. Stay tuned. The next one is the Japan Games Award 2021 Games of the Year. So at 6 p.m. 2nd of October, Minister of Economy, Trade, Industry Award, Global Award, Best Sales Award, Game Designers Award, and Award for Excellence are going to be announced. And also
bastante coisa que eles vão apresentar. Mas eu quero saber dos shows mesmo.
And the MC is the Hikaru Ijuin, who is a huge gamer in the entertainment world, and also Shohei Shibata, who is an esports caster. So there will be media editors as well to talk about the awarded games and the crosstalk. And for years of Games of the Year, there was a public voting on the games released between the April the 1st, 2020,
eles vão ter tipo de Game Awards também.
And the selection committee has reviewed and is going to
tipo o GOT dele, só que focado no Japão mesmo.
Next is U18 division for Japan Games Award 2021, where it is to discover game creators to shoulder the next generation. They're going to be under 18 years old, and this marks the 4th year, and there were 6 finalists made it to the final. At the final level 5, we will have Akihiro Hino and from Keio University, Nanako Yoshido, and Famitsu.com, Tadashi Miyokawa as judges. There will be a comprehensive evaluation to be made over the pre-test play and the presentation on the day of the award announcement ceremony, and the gold prize, silver prize, bronze prize will be selected. And you can watch this through YouTube, so stay tuned. Alright, so that's it for the introduction. Any program that you want to watch particularly? Yeah, last year Animal Crossing was Games of the Year. What about Amateur?
Quero saber do show mesmo.
Amateur division.
Ainda eles vão ter às 11 horas, que é daqui a pouco, os 25 anos da Tokyo Game Show. Mas eu quero ficar aqui com vocês até 1 da manhã para ver a SNK, para começar.
Your games can also win the awards. Well, maybe they have some time to introduce my games, but they didn't have it. I thought maybe they will have some surprise for me, but no. Okay, then let's move on. So other than official programs, there are also a lot of other events.
Alright, press
Tem muita coisa
influencer
nessa Tokyo Game Show.
can enjoy pilot playing,
Só que eu vou trazer o que vocês querem mesmo, galera, as conferências.
Tour guide actually visit the exhibitor booths and you can give the enthusiasm going on in the stage, in the stadium to everyone. Magical Lovely, Diane, Icho Kacho, Aka's Club, and those magnificent celebrities are coming along. Wow, yeah, they love the games. Alright, next one then.
Vai ter ainda
Game Music Fest.
apresentação de música também.
This is the first Tokyo Game Music Festival. You can enjoy the magnificent and deluxe omnibus in 3 stages. First stage is the TGS special stage that you can enjoy the latest full orchestra.
Espero que mostrem, Thiago. Alguns já falaram qual vai ser a programação certinha. O exemplo é a SNK, que eles vão focar no The King of Fighters 15, mas falaram que vão apresentar coisa nova também. Então, já fiquem aí pelo menos a 1 da manhã para ver a SNK.
These 2 full orchestra stages. This is something that only TGS can
Mostrar de alguns jogos como
realize,
Knight,
such a magnificent
Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 4.
And that Century Hall was a place. Those
São alguns que dá pra entender que estão aí.
This is a 2 hours long, so don't miss it.
Acho que vai ter orquestra e banda
On the stage,
apresentando.
7 concerts were broadcast live, and with a various playing style, you can enjoy the famous songs. In the summer stage, every content will be broadcasted, so please check it. And today and tomorrow night, Japan time, we are going to have a broadcast live on these music, so check it. Next one.
Vai ter uma parte VR também. Eu acho que no Japão deve ter vingado bem o VR. Cadê essa PlayStation nessas horas que, pelo menos entendi? Mas acho que o VR deve ter vingado bem lá no Japão. And in that space, participants can free and play, monitor and control avatar, and they can enjoy each space and contents. You can also see the famous characters in CZ, and they were reproduced in the VR space. And that's one of the things you want. Legal, assim que eles vão dedicar uma parte ao VR também.
But you can also have a dialogue with your mates and friends, and you can participate at. That's the only experience you can make in TGS VR. So let's download it and just enjoy it. And details I'll refer you to TGS VR 2021 exclusive site. That's it.
Sim. E olha que até tem rumor de que vai vir um segundo VR para o PlayStation 5. Então, que no Japão deve ter vingado bem. Bem possível que eles vão continuar investindo.
Well, I think real game lovers are being invited, and the tour sounds really.
Bem, daqui a uns 15 minutos já vai começar a segunda parte da apresentação, pelo menos dos 25 anos da TGS.
They are invited to the tour, and they really love games, and they can substitute their work with games. They really just want to continue playing games. Tsuda-san, especially Tsuda-san, really loves games. I'm really worried about Tsuda-san's work. I heard that it was playing games while watching M1.
E olha que eu já experimentei também, Thiago, um óculos de realidade virtual, é bem legal. Não tem muito como dizer, a não ser que você teste mesmo, mas é como se você estivesse dentro do jogo. É bem legal um VR. Tanto que se até tivesse condições, eu teria um PlayStation VR também.
In some talk programs is just talking about games, and as a talk it's not funny at all, but it's really talking about games, and he's also playing games with the public.
Só testei mesmo, uma vez testei na BGS e nossa, é bem legal o VR.
Also playing games for a really long time.
É bem legal mesmo. Não tem muito como explicar, a não sei que vai ser teste mesmo, mas é como se você estivesse dentro do
Any
jogo.
game genres or specific titles
Ah, mas eu
that
queria
you
muito
are
ter
really
um.
interested in general?
O problema é a grana pra ter mesmo.
Well,
Mas nós vamos
recently,
focar
on
por
top
enquanto
of
no PlayStation
Project,
5.
there is a new rhythm game, Automatic Club.
E até quem sabe nos jogos que vem pra
I
Nintendo
think
Switch também.
for the first time since
Tá bem,
junior
Patão?
high school, I played the rhythm game again. I used to have a beat menu.
Aí sim, parabéns, Patão. Conseguiu
Really,
todo o ouro.
since then, I played music games for the first time for a long time. Yeah, music game. Try it again. It's really fun and the musics are really good. Which music do you like from which title?
Ah, não
Well,
muito,
I tried a
Thiago,
lot,
mas
but
eu
I
testaria
always
um
go back to the
360.
originals. And I realized the beauty of the original music again and again.
村上さんどうですか？
About Murakami-san?
Eu jogaria pelo menos a trilogia
Well,
Gears.
I played a lot of titles as well. Tokime, Kimiki,
Por enquanto, só mostraram, Patão, o que vem por aí. Mas a primeira que vai apresentar é SNK. E a deles eu não vou deixar passar não, que vai começar 1 da manhã.
And erotic games too. Well, yeah, I like games about romantic relations. I want to see how they evolve, what is the latest status. VR is excellent in terms of that. Well,
Qualquer coisa vou até, galera, deixar aqui pra vocês a programação. Pra quem se interessar, mas tá na descrição também.
Kiss the touch pen, you know, in the past. I really want to go into the VR if that's possible. Yeah, VR girlfriend. Try that. It's a different, you know, it's another stage, a different world. That's so funny. Thank you very much. At the end, please, do you have any comments, remarks towards the users and the audience
Os
today?
comentários deles falando
Over to
do
you.
que eles esperam.
Yes, so
Vou falar por mim, eu espero que pelo menos assim, a primeira apresentar a SNK, eles comecem bem. Eles falaram que vão focar em The King of Fighters 15, já é um bom motivo para assistir, mas também falaram que vai apresentar coisa nova, a SNK. Claro que vai ter outras, como a Konami, quem mais? A Bandai Namco, a Square Enix, a 505, a Ubisoft, a Arc Systems, são as mais interessantes para mim.
Once a year festival, and of course I want to watch the official programs broadcasting. But even
Então,
if it's
japonês eu não
online, I
entendo,
want to
Thiago, mas
feel
o
the
inglês sim.
sense of the festival, the excitement, and I'm going to do my best. So
はい、
thank
では
you.
最後にですね、マジカルラブリーのお二人から。
Okay, from the two people from Magical Lovely, any comments? Tokyo Game Show is something I really wanted to
Vamos ver se essa Tokyo Game Show vai ser boa mesmo.
ambassador. According to rumors, the last
E até, galera, recomendo pra vocês fiquem
they had a hard time, so
comigo pelo menos até 1 da manhã, que vai ter a SNK, que é pelo menos a primeira que eu vou cobrir. E aí eu vou vendo conforme os dias vão passando para ver qual que vai dar pra ir trazendo. Mas de momento é SNK,
made some huge mistakes.
e aí eu vou vendo os outros.
But you know, with celebrities, we can also do this kind of event. I want to show that to the world. Well, because it's online, people cannot gather here physically, but maybe next year, if we can do a physical event, I want to make this
Eles falando assim que eles queriam fazer um evento físico, mas infelizmente não deu. Até fico perguntando se vai ter BGS esse ano, mas acho que BGS não vai ter não.
So that's the end for the TGS 2021 opening program. See you again.
Aê, acabou. Já vou preparando aqui, galera, o próximo evento para vocês. Espera aí. Ainda não acabou, galera. Ainda vai ter agora as keynotes deles. Aí, temos 10 minutos. Então, já temos um certo tempo. Espero que, pelo menos assim, eles falem bem o que vem por aí. Não, eles não vão apresentar não, Patão, porque normalmente em TGS é confirmado normalmente PlayStation e Nintendo. As duas não vão estar, porque já fizeram seus próprios eventos e eu já trouxe também a Nintendo Direct e a PlayStation Showcase. Então, já que as duas já tiveram seu próprio evento, elas estão de fora. Mas se aparecesse no TGS, eu acho que eles iam mostrar as mesmas coisas que apresentaram nos eventos delas mesmo. Mas até lá tem agora as keynotes da Tokyo Game Show. Vamos ver como é que vai ser. E aí já fiquem espertos, galera, que 1 da manhã é SNK sem falta, para começar. É pelo menos o evento que eu mais estou esperando do momento. Espero que vocês fiquem até comigo madrugando, galera. Eu imagino que vai durar até umas 2 da manhã. Claro que para eles o que é 1 da manhã para a gente é 1 da tarde para eles. Então, se fosse o horário de lá, já seria bom. Mas, beleza. Aí já vai começar. Eu já volto, galera. E não perco aí que ainda vou querer cobrir os próximos eventos. Aí, voltei. Falta 6 minutos. Até lá, galera, vão compartilhando aí pros amigos para dar aquela força. E também se inscrever se não for inscrito. Só vou ajeitar umas coisas aí, mas espero que seja legal aí esses 25 anos de TGS, que é a próxima coisa que eles vão mostrar. Pelo que mostra aqui, falta 5 minutos. Então não vai demorar muito, mas só vamos montar aqui rapidinho, galera, até começar. E vou resolver umas coisas, mas não perco aí que pode ser legal essa parte daí. Aê, faltou um minuto, daqui a pouco já começa aí as keynotes. Vamos ver como é que vai ser legal. Eles vão falar também dos 25 anos da Tokyo Game Show. Meia-noite eu sei que vai ter a... Deixa eu ver o nome aqui que vai estar apresentando. Vai ser a Gamera Games. E daí eu vou deixar passar que eu não conheço. Mas SNK. E daí sim. Aí daqui a pouco começa. Vamos lá, o que vem aí? Pelo menos do que mostra na apresentação, vai ter o Kenji Inafune e o Katsuhiro Harada. Pelo menos é o que mostrou nas fotos, né? Vamos ver o que vai ser.
ゲームはルールを決めてから
E fiquem espertos, galera. 1 da manhã, SNK sem falta. Bem, pelo que parece, vai durar até meia-noite
Hello,
a
everyone.
keynote.
Tokyo Game Show 2021 Online is back again this year as a hub of excitement for game fans across Japan, with even better content than before, including information on the latest trends in video games. The slogan for this year's show is "We'll always have games."
O slogan
Additionally,
nós sempre teremos jogos,
its
se for
25th anniversary
traduzir.
this year. Today, we've invited leading creators in the game industry to provide insight from a variety of angles on how games will change and evolve, and about the innovation taking place right now in the industry. My name is Katsuhiko Hayashi, Kadokawa Game
Hayashi.
Linkage Inc.'s Famitsu Group
Ele é
representative,
da
and
Kadokawa
I'll be the
Games
keynote moderator. I look forward to
e
spending the
representante
next
da
hour with
Famitsu.
you. I'll be
Famitsu, que é
talking
uma das
one-on-one with
maiores
3 guests today on
revistas
3
lá do
different
Japão.
themes.
Eu queria um dia visitar o Japão, quem
For our
sabe.
first theme, the evolution of games into an experiential apparatus with the digital revolution. I'll be talking in detail with Morimasa Sato, Director of R&D Department 1 at Capcom's Consumer Games Development Division 1, about the possibilities of
Ó,
expression
vai
in
ter gente da
games.
Capcom também comentando.
The second theme will be the expanding future of game communications in the digital revolution. My guest will be Chief Producer and Game Director at Bandai Namco Entertainment, Katsuhiro Harada.
Tá bem, Rafael?
The third theme will be
Vão
the
ter
changing
4 times,
future
pelo que
of
ele tá
game
falando.
experiences in the digital revolution. And I'll be joined by Seitaro Kimura, Konami Digital Entertainment's eFootball
Seitaro
series
Kimura, da
producer,
Konami.
to talk about the potential future of game experiences. I'd like to welcome Capcom's Morimasa Sato, who I'll be talking with about digital transformation in the expression in games, which have evolved
O
into
único
an
problema vai ser
experiential
blá blá blá
apparatus
mesmo.
with the digital
Mas
revolution.
beleza.
Glad to
Morimasa
have you.
Sato.
Great to be here. I'm Morimasa Sato, and I am the director for Resident Evil Village.
Ah, ele que é o diretor de Resident Evil Village.
Today, we'll be focusing on the Resident Evil series. Coincidentally, this year is the 25th anniversary of both TGS and Resident Evil, right?
25 anos de TGS e de Resident Evil.
I'd like to ask you about how the series has evolved in those 25 years, from the first Resident Evil to Village. First, Let's look at the clips from the two games.
Mostrar a diferença dos dois. Primeiro Resident de 96. Eu não sou lá fã de Resident, é o que eu sempre falo. Se for colocar Capcom como exemplo, é mais fácil me ver jogando Devil May Cry do que Resident. E o Village, agora é de 2021.
We just watched clips of the first Resident Evil and Village together, and while both remain equally frightening, the difference in expressiveness is
A
world
diferença
apart.
dos dois é bem brutal. Não só de geração, mas também de pensamento, assim, de como cada um foi feito.
Among the multiple consoles Village runs on, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X released last year offer technology like ray tracing,
Nossa, eles chamam o Xbox
which
Series
calculates the
X e
reflection
Xbox
and
Series
reflection
10
of
lá no
light in real
Japão.
time, and 3D audio, which enables sounds to come from any direction. The improvements in expressive capability are incomparable to that of 25 years ago. And
Mas
that's a
também
big
lembrando que o
motivator for
primeiro
us
Resident
developers.
veio lá no PlayStation 1 também.
25年前に比べると本当にもう比較にならないぐらい跳ね上がってますし、我々作る側としてもそのやりがいのある状況になってるかなと思ってますね。でやっぱりそのバイオハザード
In my work with Resident Evil 7 and Village, my main focus was providing players with the most realistic, graphically shocking experience possible.
リアルで生々しい
Eu não joguei também o 7. E olha que eu tenho aqui no Play 4, mas... como falei, não sou fã de Resident.
Being a horror game series, we've made Resident Evil so players themselves experience the feelings of pain, fear, and disgust through the games.
遊んでいただければいいなと思ってバイオハザードを作ってきたと思ってます。
Village did a great job of giving us heart-throbbing thrills. For developers, there's no limit as to how far technology and game specs can go. But do you feel they've advanced enough that you can express everything you want to?
もちろん上限はなかなかないとは思うんですけれども、満足しうる表現ができるようにまで来たなっていう手応えはあったりするものなんですか？
Sound and graphics have made remarkable progress, and my feeling is they've reached a level where sometimes it's hard to tell them apart from reality.
Ele falando um pouco aqui do processo de desenvolvimento. Acho que vai até, galera, ficar um pouco mais mutado aqui pra, assim, pra quem entende inglês, ver mais ou menos como um documentário, pra gente dizer.
While one direction games can go from here is recreating as realistic an experience as possible, of course it isn't the only one. Resident Evil has evolved in realism, and you've also been working with VR as well. What direction do you see that taking? Things we're trying with devices, like VR? Well, unrelated to Resident Evil, some games use the player's body as a controller. Evolutions like that are another way to provide players with an immersive experience. Whether it's an evolution in graphics, sound, or devices, the goal is the same. It's to provide players with a more immersive experience, to recreate reality. We have a clip from Kitchen, so let's play that now. The game really stimulates all the senses. Seeing this frightening experience in front of you makes you jerk back for fear of being killed. While Kitchen shows there's the potential for that, do you see this evolving more in the future? I believe there's a lot we can do to recreate the full sensory experience in games. While we're starting to see our goal of realism in the evolution of sound and graphics, games are the most player-involving and interactive media available.
いろんなメディアがある中でもプレイヤー自身が関われる一番双方向的でインタラクティブなメディアじゃないですか。なのでそういったそれが作り出す遊びとか。
So my feeling is there's a lot of room for evolution in gameplay compared to sound and graphics.
ビジュアルに比べればまだまだ多く残されてるんじゃないのかなっていう感覚はありますね。
While ray tracing and 3D audio are a valid evolution of games, if anything, it's a passive aspect of them. So do you think there's a potential for evolution of other aspects? Player interaction makes games more immersive, so I think there is plenty of room for growth in that area. I believe games can become even more real and graphically shocking as other aspects develop. I'd like to go into that point more. What evolutionary possibilities do you think there are for games, apart from the current path they're taking, regardless of whether they're related to Resident Evil?
可能性があると思ってらっしゃるのかをちょっと具体的にできればお話しいただきたいんですけれども。
なるほど。
I'll be speaking partly from my own imagination, but games evolution has been a pursuit of offering as realistic an experience as possible. Once we're able to recreate reality, whether it be with gameplay, sound, or graphics, we're finished. While amazing and wonderful, living in the real world makes it easy to imagine the kinds of experiences that will happen. It may be too much to ask, but I'm hoping for experiences that I can't even imagine. I think that's what is waiting for us. What I think will make that possible is the augmentation of human senses and perception through gameplay. For example, a dog's sense of smell is thousands of millions of times stronger than a human's. So they must see the world in a completely different way. They must see us, their owners, in a different way as well. That's something we can't experience right now. But by using games interactivity, we might be able to simulate and make it possible. Some people have what's called synesthesia, where they experience multiple senses at once. For example, they might see a color when they hear a sound.
感覚を同時に味わうことができるっていう才能なんですけど、分かりやすいのは、ある人はこう音を聞いた時にそれに色がついているように感じたりとかするらしいんですよ。これは赤い。
I've heard that some people see red for one sound and blue for another.
聞いたことあるんですね。じゃあそういう感覚を持った人が
Since I don't have that ability, I can't imagine what walking around a crowded city street is like for them. If we could express that with games, there would be a great breadth of potential for future experiences of things we can't actually experience.
ものすごい可能性を持った広がりがあると思うんですよ。
なるほど。確かにさっき犬の嗅覚の話。
Like the dog's sense of smell, an adventure game simulating a dragonfly's compound eyes would create a completely different sense of reality.
全然違うリアルがそこにありますよね。
そうですね。やっぱりこんな世界の見え方。
In that way, games could become something that overturns our assumptions about the world.
っていうのがそのゲームの進化にはあり得るんじゃないのかなって思うんですよね。
You said this is based on your own imaginings, but does your thinking about it mean you have some concrete sense that games could evolve in this specific way?
手応えというか感触はやっぱ終わりだからこそ考えられるっていうことなんですか？
What's important is whether we're aiming for such experiences. If we are able to, then technological advances and game design will naturally follow. So the issue is where our vision of the future of games is focused on.
当然なので、やっぱりまずそこに関してゲームの未来っていうところのそのビジョンをどこに置くかっていう現実を再現したらそこで
That will change based on whether our goal is recreating reality or something more.
変わってくるのかなと。今現在ねちょっとまだ
Something like the dog game isn't possible now, but it may be in time if we devote effort to it. What's key is whether we can hold a clear image of our goal. At any rate, that's one of the major goals that the Resident Evil development team wants to devote its research and effort to. Not everyone on the team is thinking about what we just talked about, but Resident Evil hasn't changed as an experience since the first title. Despite the differences in expression, our focus on a vivid experience of surviving in a frightening setting hasn't changed in 25 years. Even if we were to make realistic Resident Evil, that wouldn't be the end of it. Those involved with Resident Evil will always be considering ways to make it even more interesting and frightening. So it's inevitable that they'll begin to consider gameplay that goes beyond realism. I look forward to playing a game like that someday. Yes, it's something I want to do as a gamer myself. Please do. Thank you for this fascinating discussion. Thank you, Mr. Sato. The theme for this segment will be the expanding future of game communications in the digital revolution. My guest is Bandai Namco Entertainment's Katsuhiro Harada. Thank you for coming. Thanks for having me. I'm Katsuhiko Harada with Bandai Namco Entertainment. I've worked on and produced arcade, consumer, and VR games for 27 years. I'm sure everyone watching knows Mr. Harada. Our theme is game communications, and while that takes various forms, such as communication between players, between developers and players, I'd like to focus on the latter and how the way you and Bandai Namco Entertainment communicate with players is evolving.
後者のその例えば原田さんだったりとかバンダイナムコさんとプレイヤーとのコミュニケーションの進化みたいなところを中心にお話しいただけるっていうことでよろしいですかね。そうですね。もうプレイヤー
Players know more about the evolution of their own communications and the tools they use. So I'll keep to the industry's perspective.
できれば僕らやっぱ業界目線で話していきたいなというふうに思ってます。はい、わかりました。でその僕らが客観的に見ていて
Subjectively speaking, communication with users seems to have become quite important in game development.
重要になってきてるんじゃないかなと思ってるんですけれども、まずはその前提、今それを原田さんとかどういうふうに
What are your thoughts on this?
っていうところから話をしていきたいなと思うんですけれども。はい。まあ古くから実は
Through things like location testing for arcade games and communication notebooks, developers have long been collecting users' opinions of games and watching their reactions before a game release. And with the increased popularity of consumer and smartphone games, opinions can be collected from even more people. So we've been collecting a lot of data on playstyles.
さらにスマホとかでプレイするようになってからはまあ、より多くの人の意見を集めれるようになったっていうこともあって相当な、そのデータ収集でデータ収集もいわゆるプレイの、スタイルですよね。どこまで何を遊んでいる
Data on player progress and where they get stuck is also a kind of communication with developers.
ゲームを通して、そういう
That's one kind of communication going on through games.
で、もちろんもう一つは
In the past, players could only directly convey their opinions and request by postcard, phone, and fax, with no way for us to respond. Now things like the internet and social media allow them to converse with us directly. I'm quite conscious of the fact that collecting those opinions plays a vital role in development. So what was once a one-way communication is now two-way, and it's become easier to keep abreast of things like gameplay logs and users' honest opinions about what's interesting and what's difficult. That's right. This is an age where users' frank opinions, backed by massive amounts of quantitative feedback data, show us what needs to be fixed and what could be more interesting, with their ideas sometimes even changing the game. I get the sense that the actual influence players' logs and opinions have on development, and how much emphasis is placed on that data, is probably opaque to most people. While it differs by game genre, for those where players interact, compete, and team up often, it's critical that the game is such that players could communicate with each other about which gameplay works and what is interesting in that game community. Many players are aware of the recent increase in different types of beta testing for consumer games, something that seemed unimaginable in the past. Digital technology is making game distribution easier, so the opinions we get from that have considerable influence. There is an impact in two senses. First, it helps improve games and make them more interesting, as I said. Second, closer communications with a development company or team earns the trust of the core community. If we earn that trust, in a best-case scenario, their opinions of how good a game is will spread before its release. So today, it's vital we win users' opinions and trust in the development phase to deliver good games and give them a good running start. I see. During CBT or closed beta test log analysis, you can find out that players are getting stuck somewhere more than anticipated. But the only place that you can find out about how they feel at such point is through things like social media.
SNS だったりとか、やっぱそういったところじゃないとなかなかこう拾い上げられないんじゃないかなとも思うんですけれども。
That's right. So you use different sources of information for different purposes? That's right. Thanks to the spread of internet, even after the launch, we can send gameplay logs when a console goes online, or get real-time data from online games to obtain a clear idea of what's going on and where players are getting stuck. But we can't find out what they're feeling, like if they quit because they're bored with being stuck somewhere, or if they're having fun trying to get past that. In the past, we could see players' reactions at the arcade, but we can't do that with consumer games. So game companies need to find ways to gather the qualitative opinions of players through live streams and social media. And it's something the industry has started working on. Getting a lot of quantitative data doesn't mean we're communicating with players, and passively collecting opinions is not enough as well. We need to ask players about what they think, why they react, as well as make use of the large amount of unique information contained in live streams. I've recently had the strong realization that unless we combine our online databases with qualitative opinion gathering, all of it is meaningless. For a long time, you've personally been using Twitter to get information out, communicating with players, and holding fan events overseas. Recently, you created a YouTube channel. Is that because you anticipated this level of mutual communication with users will be needed when you started? Not at all. From the late 90s and into the 2000s, I refused interviews and even photographs, as I thought that a creator was someone who makes things and delivered it to people without any sort of interaction. But seeing how things are done overseas kind of changed my way of thinking. A recent example was when I visited a Scandinavian game company and learned that they sent monthly reports to titles' core fans, like at a stockholders meeting. Some companies there are very open, even disclosing things like development cost, sales data, DLC sales, and profits. The reason they're doing this, which has been going on in some form in Scandinavia for a while, is to build a trusted relationship with core fans, to be trusted like a brand. It's to the point where the companies there are buying users' trust by building frank relationships, and that trust adds to their anticipation for new titles and cements their desire to buy games from a certain team or an individual, not because it's released from a certain company.
ってきているんですね。なんか大きなメディアを使って
It seemed important whether companies could create a situation where the people that will actually buy their games decide to do so before a title goes on sale, instead of using mass media to create a trendy product that people will buy because everyone else is.
もう発売前からここって決めてるぐらいの状況を作れるかっていうのは結構大きいなと思いました。なので、もっと情報も発信して
I have a sense that the importance of getting more information out and being more involved with the community is growing year by year. So I've become more assertive in doing so.
気がしているので、やっぱそこでかなり僕は積極的にやるようになったっていう形です。
While everyone knows the importance of building and maintaining a fan community, I've never heard of a Japanese game company being so open with fans about a DLC's development cost and sales.
実はこれぐらいかかったんだけど、結果としてこれだけの人が遊んでくれたんだよ、ありがとうみたいなことをフルオープンにするって、そこまではなかなか日本だと事例としてはないですよね。
Not in Japan, no. While we may think only a portion of fans care about sales, and it's something that users really don't need to care about, cases like this are slowly increasing among Scandinavian publishers and developers. With entertainment available all the time and so many things to choose from, when getting people to choose your product or service, being completely open will get them to think of your brand as one they can trust from the start, or pique their curiosity about it. For example, showing how well a game is doing will also lead to their anticipating a possible sequel. So one aspect of this complete openness is that when users see how well a game is selling or how well it's doing after all the money spent on development, their anticipation grows for possible updates and new titles. With today's developments in AI, I think you could have AI analyze and process all the play data and choose the right responses. But it seems more is involved in games than that. Could you close with your thoughts on this?
やっぱそれだけじゃないよなゲームはっていう感じがするんですけど、最後のまとめとしてそのあたりってどうですかね。
おっしゃる通りです。
I agree. As the volume of quantitative data swells, we'll still have people look it over for overall trends, but processing it will be done increasingly by AI. Then, as an extreme example, events and improvements could become something like automatic updates. However, the remaining challenge for game companies is that they really need to look at the reactions and state of mind of each player. For example, to find out if what they're complaining about is actually interesting and it's the reason they keep playing. Otherwise, all of that data will be useless. So social media, and while it's difficult to do now, events where you physically meet and interact with fans are vital for getting their honest opinions. And I think producers and directors need to leverage social media more to gather those opinions. Although I feel there might be even better ways to achieve that in the future.
もっといい形があるんじゃないかなというふうにも思っています。
はい、ありがとうございます。ぜひ原田さんにはまた時代を
I hope you'll break ground with a new form of communication between developers and fans. I'll do my best. Thank you, Mr. Harada. Next up is Seitaro Kimura from Konami Digital Entertainment, producer of eFootball series. He's here to talk about the digital transformation of the gaming experience. Thank you for being here today. It's my pleasure. I am in fact talking with you just as eFootball is being released today, September the 30th. My name is Seitaro Kimura, the producer of eFootball. Thank you. First of all, I would like to talk about the rebranding of the iconic Winning 11 series as eFootball. What was the context and reasoning behind this rebranding? How did you come to the decision to rename such an iconic brand? There are a variety of reasons, but the first reason was the timing of the launch of the current generation of consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series 10 and Series S, respectively. We were working on a project to create a new soccer game engine in time for transition to the next console generation. So it was the right time for a major overhaul of our soccer games. Another reason was our new focus on esports. We wanted to create a big digital platform for esports. Until now, we had esports competitions for each separate platform. Our thinking was to make these esports competitions bigger by making them cross-platform. One change we made to make the platform bigger was including mobile versions of the game. Another reason for rebranding was the need to respond to changes in the market environment, which has largely gone to a free-to-play model. Until now, we had a buy-to-play model. More and more games, including smartphone apps, have gone either to this free-to-play model, which offers basic gameplay for free along with microtransactions, or to a subscription model. We decided to shift to a free-to-play business model as we saw it becoming the mainstream in the future. With the coalescence of all these big changes, we knew that we needed to make a bigger change than just another Winning 11 sequel. Rather, we wanted people to see it as something that had been completely reborn. So we took the plunge and rebranded the series as eFootball. Was this a fairly easy decision to make internally? I've heard from many people, especially those like me who grew up with Winning 11, that they're going to miss the name. It is a bit sad for me as well. We have long been discussing the need to make changes to keep up with the changing market environment. No one was against the decision, as they understood that it was something we had to do to remain relevant. I see. So your top priorities in making this decision were to assure a long life for the games you want to make by building something that players will love and keep playing? That's right. Having thought about the future of our soccer games, we decided that free-to-play was the best way to go. In Japan, the series was originally titled Winning 11, WILE for short, but overseas, the title was Pro Evolution Soccer. Yes, PES for short. So the series had a different title in Japan and the rest of the world. So we felt using a unified brand would be more efficient for the purpose of esports. In order to make the biggest possible platform, we brought the series under the unified worldwide brand of eFootball. So from now on, eFootball will be the unified brand for your global strategy? That's right. Am I correct in assuming you chose the free-to-play model because you wanted a wider range of people to play? That's right. Monetization and revenue must have been a major consideration in your decision. What justified changing your business model from buy-to-play to free-to-play? Did you want to lower the entry barrier for new players? Yes. The biggest thing in trying to build a unified global digital platform for esports is increasing the number of participants. The main barrier to participation was price, so we decided to lower this barrier by making the game free. That way, we could get all sorts of new people to participate. I see. Of course, this was a big change from our previous business model, so it took a lot of determination. We previously had some success using the free-to-play with microtransactions model for our mobile apps. As such, we were certain that a big shift to free-to-play would be largely successful. Incidentally, in the past few years, you've strengthened the esports aspect of your games by holding tournaments, implementing esports modes, and so on. I take it that the growth of esports has exceeded your expectations. Was this part of the reason for your decision to focus so heavily on esports? That's right. We've been focusing on esports for a few years now. Player numbers are increasing gradually, and we are getting a lot of feedback. Of course, there are still many issues that need to be addressed, so we would like to keep handling them as we continue to expand. Esports is still in its infancy, but we see it becoming a major form of entertainment. Given the current situation, we think the fact that esports can be enjoyed online will be an advantage. I take it this is exactly why you are working to allow cross-platform play. Are you planning to eventually expand your digital platform to include the mobile versions of your games, for example? Yes. We are working to expand the digital platform to include game consoles, PCs, and mobile devices. We will allow true cross-platform play between all of these platforms as if they were a single platform. This is exactly the kind of evolution that the times demand. If you don't take on these kind of challenges, it may be difficult to survive and thrive in the future. That is why these sorts of decisions are necessary, is it not? Yes, that's exactly right. I frequently hear from the younger generations that they don't watch TV and that mobile apps are their only connection to games. I also often hear that this generation don't have TVs in their homes after moving out on their own. Until now, the gaming experience for most people has been playing games on a home console while sitting in their living room. In the future, however, there will be many people who enjoy playing games on their device of choice, whether it be a smartphone or a tablet. I think the future demands that we change to that style of play. I'm sure all this talk about eFootball has piqued everyone's curiosity, so let's show them a video. You've changed everything, including the logos. Yes, everything is completely new. Let me continue to ask more questions while the video plays. Up until now, you've basically been releasing a new version of the game year after year. Now that you have released eFootball in this manner, will you continue to update the game with improvements and new content? Yes, we will. We'd like to update it at least once every few months. We want to keep improving the game based on feedback from a wide range of players in order to keep them playing the game. I see. By the way, could you provide us with any interesting details about how the content of the game has changed and evolved? As you can see from the video, we really rebuilt everything from the ground up. This year, we focused on the theme of one-on-one. The controls and other functions were updated to make one-on-one battles more enjoyable. You changed the engine this year, didn't you? Yes, we rebuilt the engine for the next generation consoles. That sounds like a lot of work for the developers. Yes, it was. The release of a new generation of consoles is always a major challenge, but it was especially difficult this time. I'm sure everyone watching this will actually be playing the game soon. Would you say that the evolution from the last version is likely to meet their expectations? Yes, I would say it's more than an evolution. It's something completely different. The game is available for download now, so I hope everyone will try it out and see how much it has changed. I see. Come to think of it, the first Winning 11 game was released in 1995. Yes. Last year was our 25th anniversary. I've never really heard of changing the name of a brand that has been around this long. It was definitely a bold decision. That is all for the video. I think the most notable thing about eFootball is the new business model. Rather than releasing a new version every year, this new release will be the basis of the game for years and possibly decades. That's right. I'd like to hear your hopes for how the platform will grow and how people will enjoy it in the future. Sure. eFootball is, of course, a soccer game. But our future plans for it go far beyond that. We want to expand it into a digital platform where people can communicate, share information, and watch or even participate in esports. Metaverse has become a buzzword recently. We want to make eFootball into a service similar to a metaverse. Do you mean you want to make eFootball a place where people can have fun in more ways than just playing the game? That's right. That's quite astounding. We hope that people will enjoy the game in a similar way to current social media. For example, they might pop in to share information or to see who is saying what. So the game will remain the core of eFootball, but the platform will become a place where like-minded people can form communities. Soccer fans, for instance? Yes, that's right. Your hope is that they will log in whenever they have a bit of spare time. Exactly. Perhaps you could do a little shopping or maybe even experience other ways to have fun. Right. There will eventually be other things to enjoy besides the soccer game. You might even be able to see live performance of some sort on the platform. I'd like to create such a place. I see. This is very exciting. Yes, we think that this is the future of gaming. That's not to say this sort of thing will happen with every game. However, we think the concept is well suited to the sports game genre. We have gone this direction out of a desire to offer these kind of novel experiences. I see what you mean. Of course, you are talking about the future, but I hope that everyone will download and try playing eFootball while thinking about its future potential. Yes, I hope everyone will enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Kimura. So how was it? I think the content presented here today will help you picture in detail how developers are aggressively looking ahead and trying out various things, and the possible directions games may evolve. I'm sure all of you watching this like games as well. I encourage you to keep playing as many of them as possible and let their developers know what you think. Your opinions will reach them and serve as the catalyst for games' evolution and transformation. So keep playing and stay excited for the changes coming to games. Following this, Tokyo Game Show 2021 Online will be delivering information about the latest titles and services from various game companies through its official website and its official YouTube channel, which you are watching now. A variety of other streaming events are scheduled to follow this one today, so we hope you'll stay with us as long as you can. Once again, my name is Katsuhiko Hayashi, and I'm the representative for Kadokawa Game Linkage Inc.'s Famitsu Group. Thank you for watching.
基調講演、それでも僕らにはゲームがあるをお送りしました。この後12時よりガメラゲームの番組が始まります。東京ゲームショウ2021オンライン、引き続きお楽しみください。
Aí, galera, acabou. Eu sei que foi meio chatinho, galera, a parte da conversa, mas é isso aí. O começo da Tokyo Game Show, meia-noite vai começar. Deixa eu ver aqui. Vai começar a da Gamera Games, que eu não conheço, mas eu já deixo o convite aí para 1 da manhã acompanhar a SNK. E já vou preparando das coisas aqui. Agradeço a todo mundo aí que acompanhou a abertura da Tokyo Game Show. E é isso aí, galera. Que bom que vocês ficaram aqui comigo até essa hora. Mas é isso aí, galera. Vou só descansar um pouquinho, preparar a conferência da SNK. E é isso aí, galera. Quem tiver aí, não esquece de deixar aquele like lá, compartilhar pra gente para dar aquela força, se inscrever se for inscrito. Já vou preparando as coisas aqui. Lembrando aí que o canal tem sistema de membros. Caso queira virar membro e ganhar benefício com o canal, vou deixar aqui para vocês. E também tem o Pix, caso queira ajudar. E é isso aí, galera. Nos vemos na conferência da SNK a 1 da manhã. E é isso aí. Falou!